I love your choice at quarterback, which is where we will start. Mr. Kyler Murray is your choice for the mid-round blow-up candidate. What do you love about Murray at this price?
I mean, Kyler Murray, I just think he's pretty underpriced right now. He's going 78th overall off the board in underdog drafts, QB8. So, and he's really the first quarterback off the board, the final quarterback off the board with proven rushing upside. And you can make the argument that Deshaun Watson is the last quarterback off the board with rushing upside, but we can have that discussion another day. I don't really need to be doing that right now. But last season, Kyler Murray, 18.9 fantasy points per game. That was 9th among players with at least 8+ starts. And then taking a look back to the last couple seasons before that, 2022, 18.9 points per game, 7th overall, 22.2 points per game in 2021, which was 4th. And then 2020 was 24.4 points per game, QB3 in terms of points per game. But last season, it was obviously his worst season in terms of his rank in points per game. But he was dealing a lot with injuries himself as well as the weapons around him. We know Kyler Murray in 2022 ended his season in week 14 with an ACL tear, and then he missed the first 8 games of the season because of that ACL tear in 2023, and that really hampered his performance. He overall, we know him as a rushing quarterback, and he really wasn't able to do that with the effectiveness that he was throughout his career prior to last season. So last season, in 8 games that he played, he averaged 5.4 rush attempts for 29.75 yards. So just under 6 attempts a game for 30 yards a game. Prior to that, we were seeing him get closer to 7 rush attempts a game for almost 40 yards a game. So a significant drop off last season. And I think that we can attribute that to the recovery from that ACL tear and his lack of needing to scramble just because he was looking to protect that knee, and he just wasn't fully healthy. And not to mention the fact that he was dealing with injuries of the weapons around him as well. His primary receiver last year was Hollywood Brown, who was on and off the field throughout the season, never really looked like himself, dealing with that heel injury that plagued him throughout the back half of the season. So all around, just not really a good offensive environment for Kyler Murray. And he still finished with 18.9 points per game and was the QB9 in that stat in terms of points per game. And now he's drafted as the QB8. So I really think we're getting Murray pretty close to his floor. And now he's got a revamped arsenal of weapons. They brought in Zay Jones through free agency, and they bring in Marvin Harrison through the draft, who I think is considered by just about everyone to be one of the best wide receiver prospects of the last decade. So there's nothing not to love about Kyler Murray. I think we're going to see an increased rush rate, more attempts, more yards for Kyler Murray, an increased scramble rate, and with better weapons around him, I just don't see how the passing statistics don't get better. So all around, just an improved offensive environment for Kyler Murray, and I think he's just being drafted at his floor, and his ceiling isn't being taken into account.
I absolutely love that call. As you mentioned, that revamp, you saw Trey McBride blow up last year, now probably the number 2 on this offense as well. And a lot of people question, the work ethic, the Call of Duty. All the reports I've been reading this offseason, Marvin Harrison talked about how he was trying to beat Murray into the practice field, and the Lambo, he says, is always there ahead of him. He can never get there ahead of him because he's the first one in, last one out. So say what you will about Murray and his work ethic, but it sounds like he's a man on the mission from what everybody is saying out there in Cardinals camp. So I am a huge fan of this one. I am definitely with you. We've seen the upside before, and this is definitely the best weapons cabinet he's ever had. The line has also continued to get better and better. So I'm stoked for this one. I definitely agree. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.